You're watching GRTS and this is the news. First, the headlines. Deputies debate issues concerning their electorates during the adjournment debate. The Interior Minister presides over the validation of a draft refugee status meant to guide the country's standard operating procedure for asylum seekers. George Weah's supporters celebrated in the streets as the ex-soccer star wins Liberia's presidential runoff vote. And Somalia rejoices over the control of its airspace, the first time in 25 years. Well, now this and more coming ahead. I am Tenin GT and do stay with us. And we begin with our top stories. Lawmakers have held the annual end-of-year adjournment debate at the Assembly chambers in Banjul. During the session, deputies also raised issues concerning their various constituencies. Umunjai was following the proceedings and filed in this report.
From adopting the motion for the Gambia to rejoin the Commonwealth of Nations to an adjournment debate by deputies, the year-end debate at the National Assembly gave lawmakers the opportunity to forward pressing concerns from the people they represent. Yet, the development of the agriculture sector dominated discussions as deputies debated problems challenging farmers and growth in the sector.
This past rainy season is bad. It is not very promising. It is not very good. The yields are very poor. And then we want the Honorable Minister, starting from now, to put his house in order.
We all have the responsibility, the executive, the assembly, and the judiciary. We also tie our belts to make sure that this transition succeeds.
Moving forward, Deputy Speaker Mamadou Lamin Sane expressed concerns over the poor infrastructure of government departments and urged the new dispensation to maintain administrational structures. The Deputy Speaker also called for the reintroduction of a cooperative credit system in the agricultural sector.
There are a lot of cross-border crimes committed in the Gambia here. And if these crimes are committed, I'm not very sure, but I don't think the people committing these crimes have been arrested or apprehended.
Other deputies, including Bakari Kamara, Nam for Kiang Central, Banjul North Usman Silla, and Mamadou Kamara of Janjangbure forwarded concerns from their communities.
As you know, accidents are not deliberate, they are not by design, they do occur beyond our control. Anything that happens to any one of them here, the last place before evacuation is our hospitals, and is the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, which is the main referral. And that facility is in a dire state.
Whilst highlighting the increasingly critical plight of Gambian women, the NAM for Sarekunda, Halifa Saleh, urged ministers to be consistent in the way issues are addressed.
How can anybody go into anybody's and seize ID cards? Who gave them that authority? That's impunity. Who can determine the citizenship of a person? The Constitution is clear. It is the High Court alone.
After a thorough debate, several cabinet ministers who were invited to grace the heated adjournment debate took turns to respond.
You must remember we have inherited a difficult environment where people will abuse the situation just for their own selfish interests. We have to transform our characters, we have to transform ourselves and be very sincere.
There are problems, yes, because you see, people must adapt to changes. And we have agreed that we want to increase our numbers. We've been staggering for 52 years at 150,000 at most arrivals in this country. And as a government, we owe it to the people to revise that figure.
Information Minister Demba Ali Jawo closed Thursday's debate session with a response to questions raised over the issue of GRTS having 3 Deputy Director Generals.
The Honorable Member for Jumara also spoke about GRTS having 3 Deputy Directors, which he saw as a waste of resources. Well, I can assure you, Honorable Member, that, probably 3. I know about 2 deputy directors, but GRTS has various components. We have the radio, we have the television, and there are also other components within the GRTS.
The National Assembly adjournment debate continues. Ominjai, GRTS.
Now, the Minister of the Interior, Habib Saho Drame, on Thursday presided over the validation of the draft refugee status that would serve as a guideline in determining a standard operating procedure for asylum seekers in the Gambia. Yorojaro has the rest of that story.
In his opening statement, the Minister of the Interior, Habib Drame, spoke at length on the importance of the document, noting that it will further help to improve the refugee status determination procedures in order to enhance the protection of refugees in the country.
The new Gambia that the Gambians have voted for is meant to promote democracy and the rule of law for everybody living in the Gambia. The situation of refugees in the Republic of the Gambia, though protracted, remains under favorable and protected environment. I wish to inform this August gathering that the majority of the refugees are locally integrated into the mainstream Gambian society. Notwithstanding, the government of the Gambia, through the Gambia Commission of Refugees in partnership with the UNHCR, continue to provide protection and humanitarian assistance for refugees and other persons of concern.
He pointed out that the effectiveness of the refugee status determination as a protection function depends upon the fairness and the integrity of refugee status determination. The officer in charge UNHCR office in the Gambia, Alabatu Jatha, said his agency have the profound assurance that the Gambia Commission for Refugees and its collaborators will effectively and efficiently use the standard operating procedure during refugee status determination interviews and in their day-to-day engagement with refugees and asylum seekers in the country.
The document will help guide you along the processes and procedures when conducting RSD interviews, from the application level to the determination of a refugee status to asylum seeker. UNHCR attaches great importance to this refugee status determination, because if asylum seeker comes to a country, all efforts has to be in place to ensure that that asylum seeker have access to speedy and timely processes of his case to be identified either as a refugee or otherwise.
Mr. Jata renewed his agency's continued support, collaboration, and providing the conducive environment for refugees, asylum seekers, and other persons of concern to the UNHCR in the Gambia. The Commissioner, Gambia Refugee Commission, Ensa Jawara, urge all refugees living in the country to be law-abiding and conform themselves to the maintenance of public order. For GRTS News, this is Sierra Jalo reporting.
The President, His Excellency Adam Barrow, this afternoon performed Friday prayers at the Modu Musa Njai Mosque in Banjul, while GRTS's Modu Jalo was with him, and he now reports.
The Modu Musa Njai Mosque in Banjul this Friday witnessed the return of one of its most dedicated adherents. President Adam Barrow had prayed here many times during his days as a young trader in the service of the late merchant Modu Musa Njai, who founded this mosque. This afternoon, he returned in a symbolic reunion to the spot where he prayed alongside Mauritanian and Fula businessmen.
Allahu Akbar. Allah.
The prayer service was led by Imam Muhammad Ali, who welcomed the president to his mosque, describing it as a family reunion. Speaking after prayers, President Barrow paid tribute to his business mentor, Alhaji Mamadou Njai, for the inspiration and faith in Islam. He said this mosque is close to his heart, as it reminds him of the days when he joined the people to offer prayers. Mr. Barrow therefore urged the congregation to keep that spirit of unity and faith, while also continuing to pursue their professions. The Gambia leader also urged them to continue praying for him and the nation, as he presides over the challenging task of steering the country's affairs. I am from here. I am one of you. I'm part of this family. God chose me amongst you. I'm entrusted with this responsibility, and that is his decision. Therefore, I ask you to continue praying for me. The president later greeted the gathering that waited outside to catch a glimpse of him. Mamadou Diallo, GRTS News.
The Gambia Moral Congress has held a press conference. The meeting was organized to brief the press about the forthcoming National Congress slated for the 30th and 31st December 2017. Sisi Sawane reports.
This will be the first ever National Congress and major political activity held by a political party in the Gambia. Party members say this will be a new phase for the Gambia Moral Congress and the election of a new leadership for the party. The chairman of the steering committee, Lamin Barrow, noted that the party will always promote democracy and the rule of law. He said the elections will be conducted through a ballot box.
It's the right time to look the right directions where the democracy is going today. We want to select the leader of the party by the Gambian themselves. There should be separation between the leader and the candidate of the presidential elections, because that's where you will understand the power belongs to the peoples.
A member of the organizing committee, Alhaji A.F. Jallo, said the party respects the tenets of democracy and shall practice the principle of internal democracy in its affairs. He, however, emphasized that the Congress shall be free and fair and all delegates will have equal rights and opportunities to participate.
This Congress is the highest decision-making organ of the party. It is a body that ratified executive decisions, approved budgets, validate any amendment to our party's constitution, and approve the party's program. This time, the party's manifesto up to the next Congress after this one is going to be the National Development Plan, that is the NDP, which is the government development blueprint.
The current party leader, Mai Ahmad Fati, said the Congress will chart ways and serve as a game changer for the party. He disclosed that the National Congress will also look into key issues that will serve the best interest of the people.
For the first time in the history of our party, we will have representation from every part of the country, which will significantly demonstrate that our party is a broad-based mass political party, a movement that is meant for the people. We have seen the party is beefing up, teaming up with members, with new members all over the country. And so what we are going to be witnessing is going to be internal democracy at work. We are going to see delegates from every part of this country making important decisions about the life of our party.
The party leaders, however, did not disclose the number of regional delegates that will be present during the primary elections over the weekend and the number of aspirants that wants to vie for the position of party leader. For GRTS News, I am Sisi Sawane.
The Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations recently gathered partners to discuss means of improving food security and livelihood for sustainable integration of pest management, amongst a host of other issues. Seydou Kamara has more in this report.
The seminar is expected to help farmers in combating fall armyworm through integrated pest management practices.
An insect pest called the fall armyworm has been devastating food crops in several countries in West, East, Central, and Southern Africa. This insect pest feeds on more than 80 crop species, causing damage to cereals such as maize, rice, sorghum, and also to legumes, as well as vegetable crops and even cotton.
The National Assembly member for Upper Nyomi highlights the importance of the forum. He said it is necessary to disseminate the information on the danger of the pest to crops and urged measures to be put in place to lessen its impact on production.
The video shown in this room here is it was very, very disturbing. and disheartening, and this shows that our drive to achieve food security and self-sufficiency is still far. There is need for enlightenment about the devastating effect of this dangerous insect. Fall armyworm is very devastating in its level of destruction.
Representing the Minister of Agriculture, the Director of Agriculture Department, Sarian Jabate, acknowledges the harmful effects of the pest. He said the government of the Gambia is putting in place measures to combat and control fall armyworm in the country.
The Gambia, as a sovereign nation, is making major steps in tackling the risk posed by these ravenous fall armyworms. The Ministry of Agriculture, with FAO, recently constituted a multidisciplinary team that offers hope that the Gambia can effectively give the pest a knockout blow and protect our food crops.
These pests damage mainly crops like maize, rice, millet, and they can be controlled through increased crop diversity and intercropping. FAO officials noted that they will continue to support African countries in ensuring effective pest surveillance and monitoring to fight damages caused by the fall armyworm pests. Sedu Kamara, GRTS News.
The National Nutrition Agency, with funding from World Bank and UNICEF on Wednesday, validated the National Nutrition Policy 2018 to 2025. Aisha Jata reports.
Good nutrition is a basic building block for human survival. As a precursor for health and social welfare, it is also a major contributor to economic development. In contrast, malnutrition undermines economic growth and consequently brings about poverty. At the National Agency for Nutrition, NANA, efforts are being made to engage all and sundry as actors in fighting malnutrition in the Gambia. NANA Executive Director, Moudi Yasin Fall.
I need not tell you that we have a high prevalence of malnutrition in this country. If we don't address malnutrition, we will owe an apology to the future generation of this country. Because malnutrition is both an input and output of socio-economic development. Countries are measured by the nutritional status of their population.
As the Nutrition Agency meets to finalize and validate the new strategic document to guide the Gambia's nutrition policy, officials are looking at a fully inclusive plan to improve the national food basket. NANA Program Manager Bakari Jallo.
The policy that is developed, which is under review today, is a multi-sectoral policy which covers themes like maternal nutrition, the nutrition of young children under 5, micronutrient malnutrition, non-communicable diseases, nutrition and infection, nutrition and HIV/AIDS, which is a theme on its own because of the importance of HIV/AIDS and its link with nutrition.
The policy under validation will guide nutrition efforts through to 2025, with officials hoping to raise the population nutrition status closer to the targets on UN Sustainable Development Goal 2, aiming to attain zero hunger and elimination of malnutrition across the world. NANA Board Chairperson Musa Sehumbenga.
Shown by this survey that intervening in the first 1,000 days is the most critical in addressing malnutrition. Yet, only 52% they are forced breastfeeding within the first hour of birth, whilst 47% were exclusively breastfed. There is no doubt that optimal maternal, infant, and young child feeding practices are crucial in eliminating malnutrition.
25% of children under 5 are stunted, equally over almost 3/3 of children are anemic. Pregnant women are also anemic, and there are other forms. And there are other forms of malnutrition which are also emerging, like the obesities and the like.
High levels of malnutrition will require multi-sectoral. The draft National Nutrition Policy 2018-2025 is being prepared by a multi-sectoral team in an attempt to bring together various sectors to address undernourishment in the country. Government now focuses on addressing the low purchasing power of poor urban and rural households to mitigate nutrition and other health implications. Abdullah Ba is the Deputy Permanent Secretary, Office of the Vice President.
There is the emergence of diet-related non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, coronary heart disease, obesity, and some form of cancers. Non-communicable diseases are on the increase in the Gambia, especially in the urban areas. Factors such as change of diet and lifestyle, specifically among the affluent, have contributed to the increased prevalence of these diseases.
Participants are expected to critically look at the draft policy and provide technical guidance that would enable NANA to finalize and validate the development of a multi-sectoral strategic plan to resolve the Gambia's severe nutrition problems. Aisa Tujata, GRTS.
The United Guardian Youth for Development recently gathered media personnel for a day's sensitization forum in ending harmful traditional practices such as female genital mutilation or cutting in the Gambia. Denki Ture has the rest.
Was the theme of this forum organized by United Guardian Youth for Development. The objective of the forum that brought together journalists from the electronic and the print media is to train reporters to maximize the use of their platforms to express the harmful effects of FGM. Abdullah Singate is the Secretary General of the association.
Under our health advocacy, gender-based violence, notably FGM, has been our area of focus for the past 2 years. Since we started the advocacy, a lot has been done.
Female genital mutilation or cutting was banned in the Gambia in 2015, but research indicates the harmful practice is still prevalent in the country. The key challenge, according to SG Singate, is not only protecting girls who are currently at risk, but ensuring that upcoming generations are free from the dangers of the practice.
Engaging the young people, we believe the old people minds have
evidence of malnutrition in this country. If we don't address malnutrition, we will all
young people, so that by the time they get to that age of having their wives, their children will not undergo FGM.
United Guardian Youth for Development is an association set up by a group of young people aiming to assist and inspire youth in development that particularly impacts future generations. Program Officer Omar Cham.
FGM is a burning issue in the country. It is a harmful traditional practice that has been affecting the society, especially the girl child. So we deem it necessary that as part of our trainings, we involve you, the media personnel.
Board Chairperson Babakar Jallo said the media plays an important role in disseminating information that especially highlights the challenges within anti-FGM advocacy and the drive to stop the cultural hazard.
The media is a key partner in disseminating any information, and that for this reason, that's why UGI intends to partner with the media outlets, see how best we can work hand in hand and disseminate this particular information.
A professional nursing officer, Masley, outlined the outcomes of a recent study which discovered that women who underwent FGM face a significantly greater risk of requiring a cesarean section in pregnancy, and that infants of mothers who have undergone more extensive forms of FGM stand a high risk of dying at birth. The training is expected to sensitize journalists on FGM and current eradication efforts in a bid to maximize reporting on the harmful effects of the traditional practice, whose banning is just the first step towards what experts describe as a long journey to realize its complete elimination. Janke Ture, reporting for GRTS News.
The Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs has released a media statement on the new vehicle policy implementation, and it reads, part of the policies for 2018 approved budget estimates by the National Assembly is the implementation of a government vehicle policy. This policy, the release further stated, clearly indicates that only ministers and permanent secretaries will be entitled to an official car. Furthermore, only heads of agencies, departments and security services are entitled to official cars. Those who are not among the above mentioned officials are kindly urged to surrender their vehicles to permanent secretaries and head of agencies by January 10, 2018 at their respective offices. The Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs solicits the support of everyone as it embarks on a reform to free up resources for additional use in the provision of social services such as health and education, the release ends. With that, viewers, will take a break. When we return, we take a look at news from beyond our borders. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.
Carry your bank everywhere you go with the GT Bank Gambia mobile app. Take control of your account anytime, anywhere with ease and security. Do your banking the smart way with the GT Bank Gambia mobile app. Check your account balance, transfer funds, buy Naira cash power and mobile credit, withdraw money from our ATM and POS, and pay your bills, request for a Verve card or Visa card, check your Forex rates, and do so much more in just a few steps. Download the GT Bank Gambia mobile app today from Google Play Store or Apple Store. Do your banking the smart way. Do your banking now with the GT Bank Gambia mobile app. Terms and conditions apply. GT Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us?
dama wax ne naanaan ni réew mi la ñu bëgg a oo fana leen di oo Gamtel Gamtel a oote ci lan Gamtel nee na kër gu nekk war nga am internet ndax nag internet mooy dox soxla ji mooy dox dox ji mooy wax ji kon ñëpp war nañoo am internet waaye nag internet boo koy uti da nga koy uti ca fa nga ko war a utee foo ko war a utee ci ndeyu ñëpp ki nga xam ne moo boot communication yëpp moo jur ñëpp mooy kan Gamtel nee na promotion bu mag laa leen amal promotion boo xam ne bii delloo leen njukkal rek lay doon ADSL 2 plus internet dama ne internet bari na waaye bii internet la ñu wax kana ko indi Gamtel nii na nu may def ak yéen damay def ak yéen nag free installation téléphone line boo ko bëggee fii ba décembre ñu defal la free installation doo fay dara waaye ADSL installation free doo fay dara yow daal jëndal sa modem rek toog ñu defaral la ba mu baax lii nga xam ne mooy 512 kilobits bi daan jar 1005 yóbbu nañ ko ba $1000 ndax yéen waaye dama wax ne ñi nga xam ne ñoo fa nekkoon nag sax fa kenn fàttewu leen ndax nag ko la rek ginnaaw lay féete ma ne dala nga daan say benn weer fayal ñetti weer ñu defal la 20% discount fayal juróom benn weer ñu defal la 30% discount waaye at nag ñu defal la 40% discount kana mun di Gamtel oote na ñëpp jóg gaaw leen de promotion bi ñaari weer rek lay jël novembre ba décembre jeex ñu emale ko fa rek daw leen bu leen ko kenn nettali uti leen ko dama ne jóg leen mooy ndey internet yi de moo tax ñuy wax de ki tax nga tax bu taxee ba nga tax foo ko rombee ne ko yaa tax ma tax te ki tax nga tax mooy kan mooy Gamtel.
George Weah's supporters took to the streets, celebrating the lead in the presidential runoff. This is the country's first democratic transition in over 70 years, where it takes on the presidency after incumbent Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's 12-year run, which left many with mixed feelings. Now, Weah walks into the presidency with supporters expecting him to score highly for a nation that has 80% of its population living under $1 a day. Well, we have details in the CGTN report.
This was the moment what got out. Former international footballer George Weah had built an unassailable lead. Spontaneous celebrations broke out across Liberia's capital, Monrovia. Moments earlier, in its first briefing since polls closed, the Electoral Commission announced Weah had won 65% of the vote in 11 out of 15 counties, with Vice President Joseph Boakai garnering 38%.
The total vote CDC 720,023, and the Unity Party 451,088. Invalid votes 27,873. Total votes 1,198,984.
It has taken Ware 12 years to clinch the presidency. His supporters are ecstatic.
Everybody knew that it was going to happen one day, and this day are going to pass.
A sharp contrast to those who back Bokai.
Well, the voice of the people has been heard loud and clear. We thought that our vice president was the best alternative for this country. But for the fact that people overwhelmingly voted for Ambassador Weah, it means that the people, the will of the people should actually persist over whatsoever we thought.
I'm very, very disappointed because for Unity Party.
Well, that's a happy nation. Well, we take a break. When we return, the news continues right here. Do stay with us.
This December, come and have a fun-filled season at the Q City. Q City has a whole lot of fun activities for kids and adults. Kids' indoor and outdoor play areas are open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Mondays to Thursdays and 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. It's the holiday season, so come and make the best of it at the Q City Recreation Center. The newly opened Q City with movie theater, fast food restaurant, leisure and Olympic pools, and many other sports and fun activities is open for you. Come and have some fun. Call 333-Q-City 3372489 or visit www.qcity.gm. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, Q-City Gambia, to get the latest updates. Q-City is the place to be with family and friends this holiday season. Q-City, hotel, leisure, sports and restaurants.
Well, now, viewers, that brings us to the end of this newscast. Before we take leave of you, our headlines once more. The deputies have debated issues concerning their electorate during the adjournment debate. The Interior Minister has presided over the validation of a draft refugee status meant to guide the country's standard operating procedure for asylum seekers. George Ware's supporters have celebrated in the streets as the ex-soccer star wins Liberia's presidential runoff vote. And Somalia is rejoicing over the control of its airspace, the first time in 25 years. Well, viewers, that was all in this edition of the news. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. Do join us at 2200 hours for another bulletin. Till then, happy holidays, and I am Tenenjite.